Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. Last time we talked about Zeniff and the strength of the Lord in Mosiah chapter 9. This time we're sticking with Zeniff. Zeniff actually, the term strength of the Lord, those four words in that order appear 9 times in the Book of Mormon. Again, lots of times they talk about using the Lord's strength, but those 4 words in that order, there's 9 times. 3 of those are in Mosiah 9 and 10 with the Zeniff. So that's pretty cool. Zeniff, my man Zeniff, he uses that term 3 times, and 2 times are right next to each other. The same verse. Next verse. So Mosiah 10 verse 10 they use it, and Mosiah 10 verse 11 they use it a much different way. And I think this is one of the most fascinating ones to look at, because it shows kind of both sides of the coin, which is really cool. So in our last video, I'm sure you just finished watching it, Zeniff, they had moved to another land. They lived there for, I think, 12 years. Lived there for a dozen years in peace, and they just got blindsided by an attack, and they fought back. They gathered together and they fought back, and in one day and one night, they pushed all the bad guys out of the land. And it's astonishing, because I think that the people who were invading the land had like 2 times the warriors that they had, and the death toll again was about 11 to 1, with the bad guys suffering far more, which is crazy. So now Zeniff and his people, they made friends again with them. They're living at peace, but they don't have their guard down anymore. So now I don't know if they're expecting to be attacked, but they're definitely preparing for an attack. So they live in peace for 22 more years. 22 more years, and this whole time they are preparing for an attack. The people are armed. It sounds like they're prospering. They're enjoying life. In, of course, now verse 5, the men are tilling the ground, raising all manner of grain and fruit. The women are working hard, doing different things. And in 5 it says, we did prosper in the land. We did have continual peace for the space of 22 years. So now they've lived here for like 34 years. They've lived here for a long time, and they had one war, one battle that lasted like 24 hours. And it was 22 years ago. So they've had peace for a long time. The king of the bad guys died, and his son took over. As soon as his son takes over as king, he starts making everyone angry. We get in verse 8, the Lamanites, who are, in this story, they're the bad guys. Of course, we are reading the Nephite story. It'd be cool if we had like the other side. It'd be cool if we had like records from both sides, and we had like the Lamanites. But unfortunately, they didn't. Doesn't seem like they wrote down much. And if they did, we don't have it. It's too bad. That'd be kind of cool. It'd be cool to hear their side of the story. So the Lamanites came, and I like verse 8. So we're still building up to this here. The Lamanites were armed with bows, arrows, swords, scimitars, stones, slings, and they were armed with all sorts of things. Now, this was a difference in the previous battle when the Lamanites attacked the Nephites, that the Nephites were armed with every manner of weapon of war. Anything they could think of, they were building. The Lamanites didn't have that. Now, the Lamanites are kind of copying the Nephites. They're making all sorts of different weapons. Anything they can think of, they're building now. So they've got all kinds of weapons of war that they didn't have the first time. This time, once the king had died, the son took over. Zeniff sent spies amongst the Lamanites to see what they're up to. So he was able to learn that they were going to be attacking. So he was able to arm his people, get everyone ready. He caused that his women and children should hide in the wilderness. And then everyone else who could bear arms, he prepared for war. And in verse 10, so we're going to go through verse 10, and then we'll have a second video with verse 11. And it came to pass that we did go up to battle against the Lamanites. And I, even I in my old age, did go up to battle against the Lamanites. And it came to pass that we did go up in the strength of the Lord to battle. Okay, I love this because I think this is our 4th of 9 videos. And it seems like every time they talk about, they give like a baseline. Nephi is like, I was ripped. I was a big buff guy, but I needed the strength of the Lord. And we kind of get that baseline going forward, right? In this one, Zeniff saying this time, he's like, in my old age, I'm going up to battle. So now it's not like Nephi. Nephi needed the strength of the Lord. He started out very strong, and he needed the strength of the Lord to win. The other times we see varying levels of preparedness on the people using the strength of the Lord, and we see various levels of their own strength. Here, Zeniff didn't have a lot of strength anymore. Maybe he did in our last video, but that was 22 years ago. Now he's getting a little older. In his old age, he is armed and he's going to battle. And it came to pass that we went up in the strength of the Lord. I love that because it's almost like it doesn't matter where you're at. If you are super strong to start out with, or you are super weak to start out with, if you're prepared or not prepared, or whatever it may be, going up in the strength of the Lord is the key to winning the battle. A big thing that I like in these verses is that the first time they went to war, there was the battle, and Zeniff and his people did not know it was coming. Like I said, they got blindsided. Bad guys come, they start stealing their flocks, murdering people. Some of them get away to warn the rest of the people, and then the war commences. And this time, it wasn't like that. Although, like you could almost see like how you could have gotten prideful. Okay, we had no idea they were coming. They came and attacked us. We gathered up stuff quick. We went to war, and it was a super one-sided battle, and we destroyed them with the strength of the Lord. And you know what? Next time they do that, we'll fight them. We'll do the same thing. We know the Lord's out on our side. We don't need to prepare. We don't need to get ready. And you can almost see how they could have gotten a little prideful, right? They could have thought, let them attack. You know, we're invincible. No one's going to beat us with the strength of the Lord. We proved that. I could see how they could maybe not prepare for the next battle. On the contrary, way different. Instead, they did everything they could to prepare. So they prepared with weapons of war, but also different types of food. They prepared their flocks, and then everything else to prosper in the land. Clothing and tilling the ground. I like that they cloth of every kind. So they really did everything. Like they were prospering, but they were prepared and they were ready. And when something changed with the Lamanites, the king died, someone else took over, they were on high alert. You know, they weren't just waiting like the Lord's going to help us. They did their part. And I saw it recently somewhere. I don't know who said it, but you can't pray for a hole while you can't pray for the Lord to give you a hole while you're leaning on your shovel. Like you're still gonna have to dig, and that's so true. Yeah, the Lord helps the people, and maybe the first time the Lamanites attacked, maybe they couldn't have prepared. That's a threat that they were not ready for because they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know that was a possibility. Now they know it's a possibility, so they're still doing everything in their power. They're doing 100% in their power to prepare for another battle. They're doing everything they can to fight with whatever strength they have. Zeniff in his old age, he's going to fight and be ready. I like that it says he caused that, verse 9, I caused that all my old men that could bear arms, and also all my young men that were able to bear arms, should gather themselves together to go to battle against the Lamanites, and I did place them in their ranks, every man according to his age. So here they were ranked, sorted somehow, but it was according to their age. I'm not sure if maybe the strongest warriors were up front and the old guys were in the back. I don't know how that worked, but he was ready, and so were all the other old men and the young men. They were all ready, and the women and the children were hid in the wilderness, which I like. I like that. They're protecting the children, did what they could to protect the women and the children, and as many as could fought, and were prepared. And I think sometimes it's easy for us in life to think, yeah, we're not at threat, we're not at war, we're not. I don't know. Whatever the threats are in our life, it's easy to think, we've had peace for a long time. I haven't had to worry about a battle of this type for a long time. No one's attacking my house. No one's going after my children. No one's going after the women. No one's doing this stuff. And again, these guys are at peace for 22 years, and they were battle ready. They stayed battle ready. They had weapons. They were armed. They were ready. They were still sending spies out. And I love that. I love that they continue to fight so hard. And I think, especially today, it's easy to get kind of lulled into maybe not laziness, but just not that battle ready state. And I love that they stayed battle ready, but also were living in continual peace. They had harmony. They were prosperous, very prosperous, and they were still ready for battle. And I think that's key for us in our own lives, that when we should do these things. They worked hard. They weren't sitting around. They worked hard. They worked hard to till the ground and make clothes, and they were doing all this stuff. The men and women, everyone was working hard. And because of that hard work, they were prosperous. And because of the preparation that they went through, they were ready for the Lamanites when they attacked. And our next video, we'll go over what happened when they did attack, which is way cool as well.